Oh, I should also change the music. Yeah, that's not
Welcome
bad.
to Big Jim's Demon Stronghold. What can we get you, hon?
Um. Oh, man, what was the name of the song? Okay, there we go. Sorry, just adjusting something. I probably should have done this before I started hitting record, but that's just how things go.
That's future us's problem.
Yeah. But what you gonna do? Okay. All right. When last we left off, everyone had encountered a few new situations. After entering into this area, you met a few new teammates: Rust, Ula, Lady Sky, Chrome, Caitlin, Byroth, Relta, Tallow, Paula, and Drake. Well, oh, and one that never really got named, but that's not here or there. After figuring this all out, Ramon gave you, he gave you a source of information, which was one of the enemies that you had encountered before. Whether you liked him or not, he was very informative. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide whether you believe him or not. After inquiring all of this and after heading, some of you heading upstairs, some of you clearing things up, you are to take the day off for today, and for tomorrow you are to head out. This is where we start, and, well, what do you do?
I sit down and I crack open a good book.
All right.
Uh.
It takes plenty of time. You still have about 5 hours to kill. So
Get up, get another fucking sit down. I could get her once a day, and that's and for the rest of the day, I'm not cleaning. I'm sitting here reading my book.
Perfectly fair.
I only cook dinner, even though some people think I poison it, which valid.
All right. Caitlin basically takes the rest of the day off, just attending to her own intellectual mind, and not questioning, but still thinking about everyone considering her food being poisoned. Okay.
I'd like to talk to Ramon and anyone who knows anything about dragons. Possibly the Dragonkin. I know he didn't grow up around dragons, but I want to talk about this red dragon in the area.
All right. You ask to see Ramon. Ramon comes over. It's just easier to put you guys into this room. The only other person that might have information is probably Rauta.
Okay. So red dragon living in the area. What do we know about it? Do you have any information about reports of red dragons in the area, Ramon?
The only information I have, according to this, to the geographical landscape in the area, is that dragons, specifically red dragons, tend to care for high places, the Hell's Mountains Pass is a very high place. It's in an active volcano, however, so it is quite dangerous. Ultimately, however, there are only reports of dragons being sighted there. No one has actually encountered them, as, well, anyone that got close enough either fell to the volcano or was immediately tossed out by something. We're not exactly sure, but some of the bodies that we were able to retrieve back were cased in some sort of crystal-like structure. It wasn't anything that we couldn't take off, but if I had to guess, it suffocated them. We found no real magical property, so if I had to guess, this crystal structure was somehow organic.
Okay. Now, we encountered the red dragon on our quote-unquote vacation through the desert. From where we met it, it flew off in the direction of this area? Yes? No?
To the northeast, but yes.
Okay. So, we have seen a red dragon that seemed to have a lair in the area you're describing. How big of territory do red dragons usually have?
The territory is quite large, but substantially in the area, probably the mountains pass and a little further out.
Do we think the mine would fall in this territory?
Which mine?
The mine of the Red King.
More than likely. According to the report that Will gave us, they are currently mining the area, so more than likely we'll have to go past. Well, your team, I'm afraid I can't. I'm not allowed to fight, but your team will head out there.
Okay. And, next question. Do you happen to know about scrying spells and, whether or not a dragon would be able to see where that was coming from?
The crystals that you have are allowing you to work with this house, so you won't be able. I
have a scrying item. You gave me some magic mirror a while ago.
Yeah, a while ago. So you won't be able to be scryed here, but ultimately, it is possible to scry out if you know someone specifically by their name, have something of theirs to attune to, have something specifically planted there that you were aware of.
Well, I mean, we've met the dragon. Give it a try. But I was more thinking of if I scried the dragon while we were at the mine, would that draw the dragon's attention to the mine?
It is possible.
Okay, but if I were to do it here, it wouldn't be able to because of the shielding of this place?
Yes.
Okay.
It would potentially be able to be aware that it got scryed on, but it wouldn't be able to locate where it happened.
Thank you, Ramon. That is good information.
Right.
I have no more questions.
Reltar, is there anything you want to ask?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm sorry, I'm just listening.
No, it's all good. What was I gonna say?
Like those eavesdroppers, like where I just soak in information I'm not supposed to have.
That's fair. What I was gonna say is, Russ really doesn't have any information of dragons. He was basically thrown out as a kid, so he would have nothing. He has plenty of stuff on merfolk, though, but that doesn't help.
Well, with us being in a wasteland.
Yeah. But that being said, we'll go over to Chrome. Chrome, you're currently at the second floor.
Yeah, can you say something?
Just a quick question, is the magic going off inside of the house?
As in when
But
you
is it being allowed?
like what kind of magic?
Whenever I cast prestidigitation and light.
Yeah, you're cleaning the area quite well. The light goes off whenever you enter a room. The light goes on whenever you go into a room. It's not preventing magic. Um, from what you can guess, you can use magic here without an issue.
I'm just gonna check out how many rooms there are real quickly.
All right. On the second floor, there are roughly 6 rooms, including bathrooms. Sorry, 7 rooms, including bathrooms. Some of you do have sleeping cots, so you're able to bunk down. And there are 2 waiting rooms that you can easily place beds in. But this place really wasn't built for the mission you're to take. It's just the safest place you could find out here. At one point, you could tell that it was well taken care of.
Yeah. While Chrome's in this room, he's going to put up tiny hut inside of the room and start speaking via his sendstone to check on N. Right.
Alright, you cast Tiny Hut without an issue. With your sending stone, you are able to communicate. So speaking to your teammate, you are able to communicate. Currently, they are at home base, so from what you remember. Chrome, is that you?
It's me. Any update? Alright.
Yeah, fine. Sorry for not being able to communicate for a while. They were still looking around. Is there anyone around you?
No, I'm in the tiny hut upstairs, and they're all downstairs.
Alright, good to know. If you had to guess, that's probably why they used, well, that. But they continue on. From what I can tell, the Blue King is the only information bank that we have. Unfortunately, getting any information from the others brings about his agents, so even the way we're doing things, it brings him along. So either we need to include him in, or we're gonna have to incur someone's wrath.
I will inform N about everything that happened at their current meeting, along with their plans with the Red King infiltration and shit like that. And basically give them an up-to-date news.
Alright. The Green Line represents your tiny hut, by the way. Alright, I'll look into things if you want, but from what I can tell, the Hell's Mountains Pass is a very dangerous place. You hear some clacking here and there, and then they state, according to reports, there are some dragon sightings there, which are very rare. But information on that place is quite restricted, as they do house mining facilities in the area. But they are currently not working, as the last time they tried to mine there, the mines continued to collapse. From what we can tell, it was sabotage, but we're not fully aware, is what the report says. If I had to guess, it might be the dragons, or maybe someone there that was working against them. Other than that, I do see that there are other fire-like creatures in the area, so any type of resistance against fire would probably be beneficial to you.
What state did the miners belong to? Were they a human state, or were they from overseas?
The people
Was
that
it
were
Azamar?
the people that were mining in the area were. Let me take a look. After a few more clicks and clacks, they then state, a drow with some Durgar. They seem to be from the underground city.
Interesting.
The underground city is about
Might be more.
3 days out from your current location. Well, from the House Mountains Pass location.
Is the current situation between the Drows and the humans, or Haven specifically?
Not great. According to the reports, people are still frantic. While the military police are calming things down, they aren't looking too great. Right now it's just hysteria, mixed with panic, mixed with not figuring out who to blame.
Usual then. It might be dragon related, but it also might be something along the Red King's doing to try and get. Yeah, I'll have to look into that, but I'm not sure how far we'll get considering who we're currently paired with. I don't think the Drows will listen to us.
Right now, the mining facility has been abandoned, so they don't have to.
It's the case, but it would have been nice to know a bit more information.
I can look into it more.
Either way, yes, it would be nice to look into it more so just to see how they work.
Alright.
But fire resistance is a good heads up. Speak with you tomorrow around the same time. We should be back by then. If not, wait at least 2 days of me not answering.
Alright, let me
before starting to panic.
Right. Just let me know if you want the Blue King involved. They seem well-to-do enough, but it's more people involved.
As far as I know, from what I've been told, the Blue King has no real... What's the word for it? The other kings, they seem to be more of their own thing. Base information, but we obviously can't go for more private information. That would be too much of a risk.
Not without being seen or getting others involved, yeah, you're right. At this point, you do hear someone going down the... I want to say hall, but it's more like a balcony.
What you will with the Blue King, I trust your initiative on this, but obviously don't let too much slip.
Alright.
I'll catch you in
a... They say the same thing at the same time. Do you hang up?
I'll hang up.
Okay.
Yeah, he hangs up and drops the tiny hut. Apologies, Lady Firstgate. I'll come back down now. And you head back downstairs.
Alright. Do you both head downstairs? Or is Lady Fresky doing something else?
Oh no, she's following Chrome the entire time.
Okay. Yeah, now I see it, Byroth. It is pretty dour.
Just hearing it now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you gotta go to this really dangerous area, huh? Let me put on a sound. You guys, you'll be fine, right?
I think it's relaxing.
It is relaxing, but if you weren't used to it, it would have been very weird. Oh, okay, you moved yourself for me. Thank you. After some time passes, you do see that Ramon is currently in the lab with the pink-haired woman. She's just hanging there. Caitlin is still reading her book. Rust and Ula are currently... From what you can tell, Rust is sharpening his blades. He carries a long sword, but it seems to be curved. In real world, it's like a katana, but it's a little longer than it should be. Ula doesn't have weapons visible, but she's currently preparing powders in sacks. You're not really sure what that is. Except for maybe Chrome and risky if they were in the same room. Byroth and Rautar are currently probably going over the information they gathered. Drake, Paula, Tallow are currently just talking with each other. Nothing important, just they seem to know each other quite well. They would actually be further in this room, but that's neither here or there. Eventually, the time passes, and it is time to take your long rest. Do you take it, or do you keep an eye out?
Before the long rest, can I just get ask the group if we want to scry this dragon? That's the gist of the plan is scry it now, see where it is, hopefully, and then later scry it at the mine for a getaway or something. And either scry the dragon, get its attention while we go in, so that we have just enough time to go in and get out, and then the dragon fucks up the place, or we can scry the dragon on the way out, and it just comes and fucks up the place once we're long gone. Is the hopeful effect of that.
You can scroll on if you want.
And then, is anyone familiar with magical scrying mirrors? Does it have number of uses or something?
Well, if it does, I have one too, so...
Alright. So, give it a try then.
We can always try.
Give it a try. So I believe it has to succeed on a wisdom save, which is +0 because I have met it before. And that's it.
What do you mean? 0 to its effect?
Yeah, it's just like a neutral modifier, I think. There are modifiers if you have a piece of their hair or something, it gets harder for them to resist.
That just ups the DC, that doesn't change their modifier at all.
Changes
It's
the
just
DC
your spell casting DC plus whatever that bonus gives you.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's neutral. So you have to pass 18, I believe.
Okay.
Wisdom.
I kind of don't want to show you the roll.
Or how ferociously wise this dragon is.
I guess I'll show you the roll, but not the modifier. Okay. From what you can tell, you've scryed it and it didn't seem to sense you, or at least that's the information you're getting, as it doesn't seem to look around for any strange patterns or strange sensation. Look at the area, you do see its surrounding. It's currently in a caldera with lava underneath it. It seems to be fighting, but you can tell it is not going all out against a strange creature next to it. It seems to be a very, comparative to the size of it, a very small dragon, but to you it would be about a large-sized creature. But the dragon itself that it's fighting against seems to be a strange chrysalis form. It is a dragon shape, but surrounding it, is a crystal-like structure.
Interesting.
The rest of the area doesn't seem to be too different from a volcano, which is not surprising because it's a volcano. But around it, it doesn't seem to have any treasure hoards or some sort of magical weapon runes, soldiers surrounding it. It just seems to be a home. Maybe not a very humanoid, dragon-born like home, but a home. This is where it lives, so it will likely have home field advantage.
But Roan has said that they were getting crystallized dudes for quite some time now.
Crystals for quite some time. Probably not a lot, since they have to keep it small scale. But they are doing it, and have been doing it for at least a month now, according to Will's information. So they probably have a good amount, but not all they need.
Does it look like this dragon has been fighting for a month?
No, it seems to just be fighting with this small creature, perhaps training it. It doesn't seem to be the same type of dragon, but from what you can tell, it is fairly similar, but not quite. But from what you can tell, it's treating this dragon, not really going away from the area. You do see mountains of food around it, dead cattle here and there, and from what you can tell, there are claws going up and down the caldera. So it probably goes out to hunt, but it hasn't spot or caught on to the mining facility, which probably is, again, quite small scale since they have to not be caught.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess if I just see that in the mirror, I guess I let everybody see that. And I will say about scrying, however, is that any creature with true sight or that can see invisible things would perceive a little floating ball about the size of a fist as the manifestation of the spell.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to ask, who actually went to the meeting that Byroth called? Did Chrome versus Sky? Caitlin, you're in the room, but you could have left. Cam?
I mean,
What
did we
meeting?
have...
I don't think we were invited, were we?
You were.
Then it depends on Chrome, because I assumed that the tiny hut was during the same time period.
No, it was before you all slept. Or before you all needed to sleep.
Yeah, like, did Caitlin cook dinner, or was that just lunch? 'Cause I assume we would have had a dinner.
It was
No,
a late
she's-
lunch, really.
Well, that's all she cooked, and she's just been sitting in the chair since, I guess.
Chrome would have advised also just to be careful about it if they were doing it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we did.
I just needed to
Can I
know.
roll an while he's holding it, can I roll an Arcana check on the mirror itself?
Sure. It's gonna be a very strange roll, though.
So just trying to figure out how such a thing could work. I didn't think it was going to be that good.
From what you can tell, it does seem to be an arcanic device. You're pretty sure they didn't make it. But from what you can tell, the ornamental design behind it seems to be that of a jester, holding another mask in front of it, the Mask of Sorrow. The drama mask with eyes going down but a smile. No, wait, reverse those. Reverse that. Eyes going up but a frown. No, that's the same thing.
It's the sad one.
It's the sad one. Anyways, but the design seems quite intricate. From what you can tell, it is an old mirror. But beyond that, all you can tell that is quite magical. Byroth clearly probably didn't make it, and whoever did has a showmanship quality to them.
And we'll simply just stare at the mirror while he's doing that, trying to, like, in his mind, look at the intricate details and take them down.
The more you look at it, the more you feel a voice in your head. Not like something's going into your mind, but the pattern itself seems to have some sort of feeling to it. Inside your mind, you feel the sensation of words, just simply stating thought, a thought to you, rather, to smile. It's not something that's compelling you, just something that's there.
Immediately stops looking in the mirror and just sort of side eyes to something else, like avoiding all contact with the mirror.
Alright, immediately it just goes away. It just seems to be a thought. Go ahead and roll insight. I'm also changing the music.
Oh fuck, I was on my spell list. Hang on.
Because we're having cocktails at this meeting.
From what you can tell, it's
I don't-
like a pattern within the mirror itself. Not really a spell that's going into your mind or diving in. More like, how should I put it? Have you ever seen those pictures where you're supposed to like screw up your eyes, and then you see an image?
Yeah, the magic eye things.
The magic eye things.
Mhm.
It's basically that, but you're not able to actually detect what it was. So in your own mind, your subconscious put that thought into you. But beyond that, that's all you really got from that.
Yeah, Chrome after will just stop looking at the mirror altogether and just sort of look around aimlessly.
All right. I mean, you got all the information, and then you got a little headache from that thought. If you examine the mirror more, you could probably get something else, but it's up to you, really. But Ramon does state, all right, from what we can tell and from what information the scrying helped, thankfully enough it didn't catch on, because I rolled terribly. He doesn't say that, but I do. We might need some fire resistance. It will take me all night. Thankfully enough, I won't have to go there. But I would be able to provide some of you with some resistance. However, only a handful, so I'm afraid not the entire team can go. I will need some monitoring help, so I know a few of you can do this, but I do need a home-based team here. My personal recommendation would be Byroth, Relta, Lady Versailles, Chrome, Caitlin, and another for you to decide. I have seen most of who I mentioned work in missions. He's not gonna say work well as a team, but work in missions and get things accomplished. Chrome, you seem to be interested in this, and Lady Versailles seems to be attached to the hip with you. To you. So I can see them wanting to protect you out there on the field, or vice versa. I'm not really sure your circumstance, but I'd rather not pry. But that being said, I can provide each of you and one other with some fire resistance. Maybe not to attacks, but to the environment itself.
Well, I don't need fire resistance, so you can use what you're going to give me to somebody else. So I already have
You
it.
can get double.
Can't
No, you
stack
can't.
resistances.
You can't stack resistances like that.
There are some house rules that allow that, but not this house rule.
Fair enough. I thought that was just advantages, but fair enough.
To make things simpler, she's just gonna go back further into the corner because that's what she do. I'm gonna basically move everyone he called out to the same area. Caitlin, you just move chairs.
Works.
You just flip it. Ramon then states, all right, I suppose you can take 2 members with you, but for the most part, I can only make about 7 of these. 6 of these. No, I was right the first time.
No. If it helps you, I also can have an advantage against fire.
If I have armor on,
Temperatures.
I have advantage. So
I need at least 3 members here. You can't take everyone, but maybe 3 if you really want to. But the more people I have here, the better I can track things.
see, it's fine. We don't. So who do you think? Probably leave Crow person here. They don't seem very happy with the wilds. Sorry, Talo, but
Talo nods. No, it's okay. I know I do bad.
Aww.
no, I thought you wanted this. I mean, if you want to come, always good to have cleric with healing.
If you want me to.
I mean, don't dig yourself a hole, buddy.
Well, who wants to come along?
Russ then states, if you want, we can tell you what we can do, and then you can decide after. Ramon is right, and he is our boss. He knows what some of you can do, and he knows what some of you want to accomplish. So, we can tell you what we can do, at least for the most part. I'm sure some of us have our secrets. I know I do. But beyond that, we can at least tell you what systematic abilities we can do. Does everyone agree? Ula then states, yeah, Paula, I have no problem with that. Drake, that actually seems quite efficient. And Talo goes, okay.
Might be a good idea for all of us. I don't think most of us most of us newcomers even know what each other can do.
Drake then states that it's actually a good point. If you want, we can start and then you continue, or vice versa.
Well, we are definitely going on the mission, so why don't we start? Huh? I'm Byrot, I'm Cleric of the Forge. I can heal people, deal damage, and am fire resistant, which seems handy.
I'm a druid. I can heal and do damage, and I am also proficient in guns.
I'm a Palalock. I swing swords and cast Eldritch Blast.
Actually, you should probably stay behind, Caitlin.
You should jump off a bridge, Relta.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Oh,
when we get
sure,
there
that'll
and you
make
can't
the-
wear your armor.
I wonder whose fault that is.
It's definitely not mine. It's all yours.
Inside your mind, you just hear, it's clearly hers. Inside Caitlin's mind also hears, well, darling, it's clearly yours.
Helpful.
Maybe you should stay behind until you sort out your own problems.
I'd rather be an inconvenience to you. And you personally.
You also do remember that there was a bridge at the top of where the dragons were fighting? Well, training. So, technically possible to jump off a bridge. But it's neither here or there.
Jump off that particular bridge. Dragons beneath it.
But Lady Versailles, do you say anything? Or do you just say you fight good?
She'll say nothing.
Oh, she's so well spoken though. Isn't she really polite? Oh.
What about you, Chrome?
I will simply perk up after they start having a little bit of an argument and just goes, well, for me, I guess I'm a balance of a magic-related fellow and a fighter, as he his cane and pulls out the sword sheathed within.
Is it of fine craftsmanship?
It's a pretty well-made rapier style. The entire cane itself is quite intricately made. But
attention.
Lady Versky over here is more of a ranged combatant. We usually tend to work off each other's strengths.
So you specialize in close work, then?
So depends what I'm working with.
Man, that's bad.
I could be long ranged, I could be short ranged.
Versatility is always good. So, you know what we can do. Please inform us of your ability.
Talo then
Says
Tallow then states, okay, I'll go first, I guess. I'm Tallow. I am I mean, maybe you won't believe it, but I am an Aaron Kakra. I am a cleric of life. I can heal really well, but that's all I can do. I can also cast light magic. Drake then states it's quite alright. That's well enough. Tallow here is also a level 7. From what you can from actually outside the game and inside the game, from what you can remember, there was a leveling system within Haven. You know that's basically how you can tell what level everyone is. It's basically how potentially dangerous as well as how skilled you are. You can tell what you specifically as players can tell each other what air quotes level you are. If you want, you don't have to. But that's just what
Grade,
says.
please.
Sure, grade. Tallow here is a level grade 7 cleric and grade 4 paladin. Just starting. It's quite alright, Tallow. Drake then continues. He's quite well adapted.
Wait, is Tallow wearing any sort of armor?
He's not.
That's an odd choice for a pally.
It's quite very true. Drake then states, but if you don't mind, Tallow, do you mind if I continue on? No, it's okay. Hey, the name's Drake. I am a level 13, grade 13 rogue. I primarily deal with espionage and a little bit of, I don't want to say murder, as it is more missions to be sent out to kill people. More assassinations, really. But
mercenary type, perhaps?
more or less. I deal with getting in, getting out without being seen. Comes in handy in my line of work. I'm a mercenary, by the way, in case you don't know. Tallow here is just a friend from the cleric. I need to look at my notes. Okay, Tallow here is just part of the clergy that I was assigned to get proper healing without going to any notified establishments. Yeah, I help Drake whenever he gets hurt, so he doesn't get caught, and then he can continue his job. That's quite true. I would say I am good, but based on my actions, they are contrary to the fact.
Just a quick note that the crow doctor in your story is analogous to the back alley veterinarian. Patches up my... Anyway, continue, sorry.
It's fine. Paula then states, Now, it's quite alright, Drake. He's actually a fairly nice person, but he does need to do what he needs to do. Hey, the name's Paula. Nice to meet you. I deal with tinkering here and there. I am a level 11 artificer and 3 levels in sorcery. If you need anything constructed, let me know. It might take me some time, but I could probably do it with the stuff we have here. I could be out on the field if you want, but it will take me time to prepare the stuff I have. Ultimately, I deal with magic, weaponry, magic arcane, building, construction, and then I fight if I have to with the sorcery spells that I have. That's about it. I help Drake sometimes whenever he needs a specialized weapon made. Tallow's just a friend. Good one, though.
Paula, how much do you know about structural engineering?
I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I am not a novice.
Could you bring down some, but not all, of a mine?
If I had enough explosives and enough time.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
I mean, if I have a blueprint of the area and Drake goes in with the explosives, Around 85%, sure. Unless someone removes them. There's always those kinds of factors. She goes on for about 5 minutes, and then Ula then states, do you mind if I go? Oh, sorry about that. Work, you know? It's alright. The name's Ula. I'm a merfolk. I don't really do magic. I kind of don't do much. But I am very good with my mind and making things. Not like an artificer like Paula, but I can make stuff that's similar to spells. I basically deal with powders, structure stuff, anything that I really need, really. I'm technically classified as a warlock. I'm a level 11 warlock, but I don't really have any magic. I just bring out what affects plants, animals, and other ingredients I can put together do. Some people consider that a cleric, not cleric, a druid thing, but the druids don't seem to like me very much.
So you affect people's minds with powders.
I can. Not all the time, though. I can also cause them to have effects on each other, like some sort of fear toxin or some sort of paralysis powder. I can create darkness. It's basically what my patron tells me and information he gives me, but I don't really have any magic. Except breathing in the water, but that's more of a merfolk thing. She chuckles a little lightly, but she's not lying. From what you can tell, or at least from what you've seen of her, there are no traces of magic or magic-like items. But she does have effects she could do. And yeah, she is classified as a level 11 warlock. Rust then continues on. The name's Rust. I've been with Ula for quite some time before she was born. I was 2 before she was born. She's only 2 years younger than me. Technically, I'm a dragonkin. I'm what's known as a fighter class samurai. That's basically it. I go in, fight, kill, or restrain, depending on what type of work I need to do. And that's basically it. I have no real flashy things I can do. I just get the job done. I would say I'm contracted underneath Ula's family, but technically they adopted me into their family, so can't really say that without being kind of rude to her family, really. Ula then puts her hand on his shoulder. They adopted you. You're our family. Still weird to say. Ramon then states, the name's Ramon, your boss. I'm not allowed to fight, so I can't tell you what I am. Well, I can tell you that. I just can't really go into detail. I deal with artificer things from time to time. I deal with basic info gathering. I am not the best at it, but I can give you information that I do have or can get a hold of. If you want any more information about me, just let me know. Like right now is a good time.
Can you remove curses?
I would need a sample of the curse and whoever is cursed, but potentially.
Alright, we'll talk later tonight then.
Alright. Chrome, does your secondary character say anything, or does she just chill out in the background? It's fine if she doesn't.
You would just basically
Aggressively T-posing.
Yeah. Name's Camellia. I don't know what these class things you're talking about are. I just punch shit and hope that whoever I'm punching stays down for a long period of time.
Russ nods in agreement.
ain't fancy with any magics or anything like that, but I haven't had a record where I've not been able to do a job yet, so I'm not letting this stop me.
Drake nods in agreement. When you said I don't really do or deal with magic, Ula just looks at you wide-eyed, like a kindred spirit. If you had to guess, it's very weird that Ula isn't able to use magic, because only really humans have been restricted and really not capable of. So if you had to guess, she had some sort of not so great past because of that.
Camellia turns to her around and just goes, wait, do we have to do races as well?
Only if you want. Some people did, some people didn't. If you don't want to...
So get this shit out of the way, and she just lifts up her hair and shows off that she has kind of elf ears. It's more very short and nice, just goes, elf and a human, don't ask.
Seems pretty self-explanatory.
Well, people tend to get annoyed with it easily. Might as well just get out of the way.
Ramon then states, I can understand that. Not gonna ask, not gonna pry into your background, but if you need to talk, I am also... No, that doesn't make sense. Technically, my wife's the counselor. I am a husband to a counselor. That doesn't help. If you want to talk, I'll be willing to listen.
Ain't got money for a counselor.
He then chuckles and goes, you can just talk, I won't say a thing. Sometimes that helps. But to the rest of you, that also applies. Sometimes, look, we are not exactly a team yet, but we do need to work as a team. Regardless of what you think of each other, or regardless of what you think of others, we do have to work, or we will die out here. Personally, I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're a merfolk, a dragonkin, an undead, a Aasimar cleric, tiefling, bard, druid.
Am I getting called out?
No, he's just calling out a whole bunch of things.
Done that as he stares directly at Caitlin.
An assassin, an ex-convict. I really don't care, Ramon states. I'm here to make sure my daughters, he can't say wife because he's technically not married, but they are I don't want to say contracted because that's not the proper term.
The mother of my children?
No.
Domestic partner.
Domestic partner, really. Because they're not technically engaged, but they are together. And my domestic partner make sure they're all safe. So if you can help me in that, and you can help yourselves, perfectly fine by me. But if you need to talk, I will be in the lab pretty much 24/7. I am...
And what was the range on our... Sorry, go.
That's fine. I am a ex-child soldier. He then lifts up his... not his collar, but his shirt. Not his shirt, his sleeve. And then you see marks embedded into his skin. You see strange blue lines, almost like a tattoo. But it is a lot more intricate than it should be. And it looks more piercing, as if something was gnarled into its flesh. And I have a bit of a backstory. Suffice to say, I am part of a bloodline that had gone all the way back to when all this started, I assume. I'm still figuring out the details. But I am known as a cursed one. I have two modes. One is really into killing. I am not that side. Kind of the reason why I'm not allowed to fight.
Sorry, is it just me that cut out?
I didn't hear that either.
Neither did I.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, to make it simpler and so I don't have to go that spiel again, he lifts up his sleeve and then
We got that.
Okay.
Just the last part about
Just when he was describing why he can't fight.
He then states the reason why I can't fight is because I have two modes. One really is into killing and will not stop until everyone's dead. I am the other side. From what I can tell and from what I'm still looking into, I am part of the bloodline that goes all the way back to when this all started. I don't have all details, but from what I can tell, I am a cursed person. Which is how I know some stuff about curses.
the pro tip for anyone: if you see the angry side of Ramon, wisdom spells is the way to go. Tell him to calm down. He'll be alright. Hopefully.
It never works.
I did it.
It worked once, so it
You're-
works all the
you're-
time.
You commanded him to calm down.
Because of his low wisdom, it worked.
You didn't just tell him to calm down. That's misleading.
I said wisdom spells. I didn't say tell him to calm down.
Use commands on him and then tell him to calm down.
As you argue,
Yoda, relax.
Ramon then begins to head out toward his lab. So, if you need anything, let me know. I will be in the lab all night. It's a good thing I don't have to go into the field. You all can
Going
discuss
out there immediately.
which one person or two people max. I need a good team behind to help me out. We'll go with
Why
you,
don't you
and
pick
I'll
for
have.
us?
Okay, quick survey of the team. Is anyone good at sneaking?
Drake raises his hand.
Isn't there a rogue?
I mean,
I was
our
about to say,
team. Our human team. Our real player team.
Oh, our team.
a human team.
Didn't I give everyone
That's the
proficiency in?
opposite.
Like us. Like us.
Our RL team.
I sacrificed so much to get you guys proficiency in stealth. Y'all better find a way to get good at it.
What you
Swear to
mean?
God.
That's how I was looking at my character sheet being like, how did I get that? Thank you.
It's like, oh,
You guys
Caitlin,
still
can
have the
you
pad.
please get rid of it?
Badges, you have advantage on it, but me and Rex don't have those badges technically.
It wasn't advantage; it was proficiency. It was the thing, which is a Phil's Poplio.
Yeah, he can't
Alright.
give anyone else badges, by the way. For
Well,
obvious
did
Yeah,
reasons.
well-
they changed it to those whatever things we had to put our DNA on, right?
Yeah, the crystals.
Yeah.
Well, that's just for coming in here.
Oh.
But 3 of us have tablets. I don't know if Chrome and Lady Versky have the tablets, but they should work over,
Nope.
like kilometer distances.
No, though. We were talking about the badges for stealth reasons.
Oh yes.
And then I was just like, didn't we get them replaced with the crystal? And then,
No,
so we
those
don't
that still
the
have the badges
right?
still have the badges.
Oh. I thought they were like no longer a thing because of the security breach or whatever.
They don't work anymore in the R&D department or in the city. You
But they
basically
still
were
have
cut
the-
out, but the effects are still there.
Oh, okay.
You just no longer have clearance and are allowed to go in and out of the police station.
Damn it!
But they let us keep our military issued or whatever issued badges. Okay.
Our
We're not
prototype
allowed here
stealth
anymore,
tech.
But just go ahead and keep that.
Honestly, you on an actual system you wouldn't be allowed to, but I just don't
I
want
know.
you to
I remember one time at work they had to
take
take
out
my
everything
badge.
you were given.
I mean, to be honest, Rialto, don't you still have a bomb technically?
You know what? You are right. I
I
have
still
I was about to say
bomb
you
in
pulled
my
out a
bag.
bomb during court, and they just
Like
let
it
you
was
take
nothing.
it
Like
back.
here we go. This is what we've been trying to hide all along. I just been carrying it around on me. I'm pretty sure I would
Excuse-
have. Well,
My biggest surprise
my
is your bag of holding
whole-
you just have it just open and just smoke came out.
Right. My whole thing was after everything, I wanted to go talk to Ramon, get the bombs out of my bag, and also talk about my shard of whatever, because I still haven't done that. I just keep getting
Mhm.
distracted.
Now might be a good time.
I got a lot of stuff to do tonight.
But I loved that scene in the courtroom and like with the queen and the whole council. It was like, could you produce this bomb?
Well,
We're like,
yes, I
yes,
can."
madam, right here.
Yeah, I brought it in with me. Don't worry about it, buddy.
Room full of
Nobody
magic
bothered to
people
check
that
my
could
bag.
set it off immediately.
If that was
Oh
more
yeah,
if that was more of a
Yeah.
dick, I would have done other things. But no, I'm not gonna do that. At least not yet.
Well, I made
yeah.
sure to get the bomb back. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure to put this away.
So you still have all the
Back in the
stuff.
bag
I
of
just don't
holding.
want to take anything away from you in case you needed it, because things are gonna get more dangerous. But to go back into game, as Ramon and Caitlin
Go.
leave, Byroth asks the current team if they're good at stealth.
and or picking locks and doing roguey things.
Drake has never been more needed in his life.
I've dabbled a little bit in that sort of area.
Would you feel comfortable infiltrating a mine full of people who want to kill you and surrounded by lava? Or should we supplement the espionage level of our team?
I'm still convinced we can talk to the dragon, so
That is the point of, are we dealing with people or are we dealing with dragons? If we're dealing with dragons, I don't think us sneaking in via lockpicking means is going to be terribly needed, more than sneaking in the sense of trying not to be seen.
Fair enough, but I suppose. I mean, if you can't get past a locked door, it doesn't matter how sneaky we are.
True enough. Things I might be able to do to help us have a bit more of an advantage when it comes to sneaking.
Okay.
But not a highly trained professional in the sense.
From what you can remember from the map, there are also no real need for lock pickers in this circumstance. It's not like there's a giant door you have to lock pick to get it to each section.
Oh, so this mine having incredibly valuable things coming in on a regular basis has almost no
It's also
security.
deserted.
From what Chrome knows, the entire mine facility was shut down because of construction issues, aka sabotage. So it was basically cleared out. And only
But I mean-
someone that's not aware of the situation would go.
Okay, so the Red King's operation is sort of like a scavenger thing almost.
Pretty much.
I can give a quick demonstration to show some abilities I can do.
okay.
Help a little bit.
Please do.
He clicks his finger once and he mutters something under his mouth, clicks his fingers and basically poofs and becomes invisible. That'll be one spell slot down. He comes back and just goes, that's one of the things. Another thing is important conversation right now. He just poofs back.
This is before our rest, right?
Yes.
This is before the rest.
Understood.
Byroth do the same thing. Except he just like moves around a little bit and he's still jangling. He's like, well, do you see problem with that? That's a daily Fearbog thing. I get I get 6 seconds out of that.
Mine's a bit more concentrated. Is the best way to prove it. Rialto, talk for me real quick, and he casts silence on Rialto as soon as she starts talking.
Rude. But it works.
Just waving my arms, like my mouth, like, oh.
rude
That's another
gestures
thing I
start
can
coming
do.
out.
Just middle
Okay,
finger up. No, I'm just kidding. Just be like, point to mouth, talk.
Okay, no, that one can be handy.
And he drops it again.
Okay, I guess main question is, do we want extra healer, extra sneaky guy, extra fighter, or status effects, or bring the saboteur in? I mean, I did just recount all their abilities.
Yeah, to give you a basic rundown of what you guys are able to do, first of all, she will not be available to you. Unfortunately, she's a PC. Air quotes. So what you actually have is a guy with that's
Yeah, I'll just
very
go
good.
be Ramon real quick.
A guy that's very good with a blade. A woman that deals with status effects. A woman that deals with magical weaponry. A man that deals with espionage work, and a very good healer.
He's a very good boy. He tries his best.
Oh.
I mean, I always just take the healer and cast Sanctuary on him and go about our merry way. But the heal bot.
That lasts for a minute, homie.
We get to take one or two.
That's 10 turns of combat.
Max 2. Ramon does need a team back here in
Probably
case
not.
you guys either air quotes screw up and die, and they need a retrieval team, or you guys screw up and don't die and they need a retrieval team.
Do we even need NPCs? Risky asks. I don't know.
Oh,
Depends
Rex
on-
asks that.
It is personally up to you. To be perfectly honest, you might or you might not, depending on how your team operates. It is just something available to you. You can take a max of 2, but ultimately the decision is yours as Ramon left it to you.
And we'll simply ask if any of them feel brave enough to actually go on this kind of mission.
Yeah, do you
Because
guys...
you can understand if they don't want to with the talk of dragons and stuff.
It's fair.
You see Rust interested. You say Drake interested. Paula was a little scared. Paula is... Well, Paula's Paula. You can take her if you want, but she is neither here or there. Ula is also neither here or there.
Did we get any sort of schematic of the mine that we could just give to Paula to make a bomb, maybe?
You were giving blueprints of the area, basically a geographical map.
Yeah, but nothing on the mine itself.
Nothing
I
on the
want to
mine
talk
itself.
to her actually and see if she can do anything with the bomb I have.
Do you bring it out?
I will, yeah.
Oh, jeez, every time.
I gotta know, she's good with this stuff.
Uh,
I'm
Gotta be
covered in
very
magical
careful
armor.
with this.
Presenting the map, not the map. Presenting the bomb, she does state, I could perhaps make something similar. It will take me some time, but I could make more of these potentially. Although
And
I'll
safe
need to
for
find-
travel and everything.
No, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to travel. I'd need a stationary shop.
No, I mean,
Conventional.
I've been carrying this around in my bag of holding, and I don't think it's the most stable thing to be carrying around. I want to make sure we're safe if I'm going to be carrying a bunch of bombs with us.
Oh, sorry about that. She does look at it, and her eyes go into a golden like iris, and then they don't actually change back. She then states, no, they're perfectly fine. She hands it back to you. The iris is still
okay.
remain the same. Now a golden color. There are some triggers that will set it off. Some type of force that causes it to be removed. Magic-like, something similar to mage hand, or perhaps something like that, like telekinesis will also set it off. But if you simply break it with enough force, it will simply dissipate without actually going off.
Oh, that's weird. And then you said you could make more of these? How long would it take you to make more?
It'll take me roughly 3 days, I'm afraid. So if you want me to make more, I can. I just won't be able to travel with you.
Yeah. Maybe
Do you have any
something
conventional
related.
explosives?
I do have a few explosives here and there. They have a radius of 10 feet.
More for collapsing tunnels.
I would need time to make that.
Tomorrow?
No, no.
More time than just a day. Alright. Okay. Just wanted to get that out of the way. And then honestly, like out of character, my 2 votes were the first 2 people that he threw up. That was funny.
I mean, we'll take the volunteers, right?
Yeah. Russ was definitely up there for me, and Drake was up there for me, but I don't know, whatever you guys want to do.
I'll repeat it again. Russ and Drake are into it. Paula is indecisive, up to you. Ula is indecisive, up to you. Talo's not really into the mission, but is willing to go if you decide to take him. He'd rather not have you die out there.
Nah, we don't want him to die out there. We'll take the fight. Unless anyone objects.
You can take a max of 2, but
What
it is
do
up to you.
object about?
Chalo has to come. This was never an option. I don't know why you pretended it was.
Why
Talo's
does
coming.
Talo have to come? He's scared.
First of all, no. This is the turning point in his character arc. He comes, he sees his friends are endangered, he casts that goddamn heal spell.
Caitlin, I think you left the room.
This is out of character.
I know. I'm kidding. You want Talo to come with us? His character arc.
If anyone needs to come to this thing, it's goddamn Talo. It's Talo or none of them are coming. Swear to God.
Talo is my favorite of the characters.
But yeah. Basically, I'm hearing Rust or Drake or both. You can take a max of 2, but no more.
I say Drake.
Yeah, I'm definitely not on Drake. We have 2 of everything else. We might as well have 2 sneak thieves.
Okay. Then I will go down to what Ramon and Caitlin are talking about, because I have a bit of a clue.
And I don't know, we'll take the Dragonkin too if you're always more damage.
Rex wants to go beat shit up. Why not?
Okay. Ramon then looks towards Caitlin as she came in. He expected... Oh man, I'm forgetting her name already. He expected his basically lab assistant to come in and help him, but didn't expect Caitlin to go into the computer room.
I thought you were offering consultations.
I am. If you want to speak, we can speak. I honestly didn't think you would come though. But yes.
Me? Oh no. How could you, Ramon? And here I thought we were friends.
We are. We
Our
just don't
kids are
speak a
friends,
lot.
Ramon.
Yes.
I am appalled.
All right.
Anyways, now back down to business. I need you to remove a curse created by the Shard of Wrath.
Oh, those things again. It will take me some time, roughly about a week, give or take. I would need a sample of your blood or your skin tissue, whichever one you're willing to give up. And I will
You got a
need...
needle?
I do. He then presents a small case that has medical supplies and does bring out a syringe. He also then states, I will also need you to show me where the curse is.
It's placed on the armor.
You mean the armor you used to wear?
Yes.
Out of game, in-game, Chrome, he is of age. He's just very young. But back into game. Ramon then states, then I will need you to show me the armor again. But he does take the syringe and then states, "May I?"
Proceed.
He does sink it into your skin and draws out a bit of blood. He then takes it out, quickly wraps it up, and places it cleanly in the case. And then he brings out what appears to be a small parchment of paper. But it doesn't seem to be quite right to paper, more like papyrus, if you know what that looks like.
Gross.
And then he states, "Do you mind?" As in indicating, do you mind showing me the curse?
She summons the armor. Where's that
You
dark
summon the
token?
armor, and I think it's a flip token. You didn't have to. Okay. You
This
summon-
is the flip token.
Oh, for some reason it disappeared completely. For like a good few seconds. Doesn't matter. You quickly change and it begins to burn. Go ahead and take 1d4. And then he quickly taps onto your armor and the paper begins to change color into a more how should I phrase this? Do you know the way this scab heals and that point where it's all black and kind of gross looking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The paper basically looks like that now.
Oh.
He then quickly covers it, places it in the case, and then closes it. All right, it'll take me about a week to decipher this, but just don't get... he makes a small joke, just don't get cursed again. Or a
I
new
do not
curse.
intend to.
Right. Thought I'd never have to deal with these things again. If you need anything else, let me know, but I will get straight to work on this and everything else.
She looks around the lab. I'm not gonna be sleeping tonight, so I can help you with anything you need here.
Great. He then hands you what appears to be a bottle of WD-40. I need these things to be quieter. Spray this anywhere you find a machine.
She starts spraying all the machines.
Where they're moving.
As someone who is recently deaf, it just must be awful in there for you.
And she will go after the ones that are moving. Going
Okay.
at it with the WD-40. She
Um,
looks confused with spraying stuff.
That's fair. Ramon then, over an intercom system, basically, then states, "All right, get some sleep, and I'll see you all here bright and early in the morning." Do you all sleep and take your long rest, or do you do something else?
Fyra sleeps.
Caitlin does not sleep ever.
Chrome will
She's
sleep, but
been
he'll
that
try and...
WD-40.
Is there a way to try and find a room where he's not sleeping with people?
Yeah, you can just take one of the rooms. I mean, they don't. Most of the people didn't actually explore the secondary floor, so you can just say, "Oh, I'll take the smallest room I found," and then just take this small study.
Is it a comfortable enough temperature outside? Fyra might just sleep beside the dryad tree, considering that the safest place ever.
Relta, you remember that the area outside, specifically at the tree, is fine. It's not really an issue.
And I would
Anywhere
have gone
around,
out there at some point and tried to like make it nicer and
Mhm.
stuff.
everywhere else though, it was really painful. It was basically you were in a desert, and you forgot your sunscreen. So the longer you stayed out, the more it didn't feel good to you. Even with your fire resistance. However,
my normal
And
life.
full plate mail.
Like my normal life.
however, at the night time, you are basically in a desert-like environment. You can test it out, but you'll likely be freezing to death outside.
Yeah, that'd be quite cold.
You can check it if you'd like.
I just hold my shield for frost resistance. But no, he'll look at the stars for a while, and if it's cold, we'll just go inside.
As you go outside, it is freezing, even with your ice resistance. But the closer you get to the tree, the warmer it feels, or at least the more stable it feels. Around the tree, you're perfectly fine, perfectly content, but anywhere else, you'll likely be frozen in the morning. But the area outside
I'm gonna go mess with Byros.
is quite beautiful. The stars are clearly visible. There is no light pollution, as there was in Haven. It is a perfect night, honestly. Other than the fact that if you go anywhere else, you will likely die.
I mean, how nice is it near
Around the tree, it's actually quite pleasant. The tree's area of effect is quite big, so even if you toss and turn, you won't likely get out of its range. But if you decide to go anywhere else, you would not like it.
Yeah, why not? If I'm
So
aware
you're
there's a if I'm aware there's a dryad in the tree, that's what's making it all nice. I'll say, life here again, dryad. And then I'll just kind of, slump up against it and go to sleep.
In 5
And-
hours, Caitlin's gonna go out there and wake him up.
Before I go to bed, so you said our badges still work? Like, do they work like telepathically still?
Yes, you just can't use them in the police station or get into the police station.
Okay, and then if I use the telepathic line, can I direct it at just one person and not the whole group?
Yeah.
Like, can I tell Ramon, hey, I want to have a private conversation with you?
Easily.
Okay, cool. So I want to talk to him about all this stuff, but I don't want to talk about it in front of everybody.
It's perfectly fine. So everyone heads upstairs, finds their own room. Tallow, Paula, Drake basically head into the room before the kitchen and basically have a sleepover.
Better not be sleeping in my damn kitchen.
The room before the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
The like storeroom for like.
Basically, yeah.
Oh.
Chrome, Lady Versailles, Rust, and Ula all head upstairs. Eventually, Ramon's assistant heads upstairs as well. Sorry that I keep forgetting her name, I just can't remember.
Was it like Camilla? Caramel?
Amelia.
I
Yeah.
was so fucked.
Rota, you're also upstairs, but to make things simpler, you're on the map.
Okay, like I could even be over. Oh, dang it. Cat wrong. Could even be over in the kitchen or something. I just want to like have a one-on-one conversation with him. Kaylin, get out of the room. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm out here with some WD-40, homie.
I know.
Trying my damn best.
The rooms aren't all taken, but you can camp out if you'd like. You would just be camping out in the same area as Byroth. Basically, everyone huddles into a room, but the rooms that aren't, air quotes, used, are one is a study and another one is just a lounge. You can
What
easily
about
take those if you'd
upstairs?
like. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
There's just enough space that you can all take a room, because some people don't want to sleep with people they don't know. Some people take up not a lot of space. The easiest rooms you can take up without an issue or without anyone else is one of them's a study and the other one's a simple lounge.
Where
But that's
this
only if
music
you
is
don't want to
coming from.
share. Yeah, basically. But if you want to go outside, you test it outside and you can tell that the environment is quite harsh. You all knew that getting here, and it's somehow even harsher when it's cold.
It's
That's
somehow. That's the definition of harsher.
The only area you felt comfortable was near the tree. So if you want to camp out, it would be near the tree. Again, the area is quite large. You don't have to be near each other. It's just something you can do.
Well, we're in tiny huts, so outside conditions don't matter to us.
Okay.
Tiny has climate control.
Any hut as a spell, when you're inside of it, it's room temperature.
Okay. That's fine. But from what you can tell on the outside, it is currently casting a frost over the tiny hut. Nothing is happening. You're perfectly safe. It's just that disconcerting. But I digress. Basically, Relta's in one of the rooms. Ramon is currently in the computer room, mentally speaking. Ramon then states, yes, I have some time right now. Is there something you need?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you. I found a shard of wrath, and I wanted to talk to you about that. And there was something else making me remember. What was the other thing? I forgot what the other thing was. Oh, it was the bombs, but I already took care of that. Okay, so yeah, I want to talk to him about the shard of wrath and ask him about it.
I see. Well,
I mean, technically he already knew, but
Well, he doesn't know that I have it. We haven't had a chance to talk about it at all.
the only blade he knows that who has a blade is Caitlin.
no. I said Halliwell told him with Ramon about what happened with the road to El Dorado.
Oh, I thought it was just the information that you have, not what. So you spoke about specifically everything.
Specifically everything that happened to the road to El Dorado and shit like that.
Oh, okay. He does know, so it's not a surprise. But he doesn't know about the curse thing or anything else because you weren't there. Or at least you...
Nothing about the curse,
Yeah.
just the blade itself. Along with Halliwell's bow as well. He also knows about that.
Ramon then states, I was aware you have it, but I wasn't aware you've used it.
I don't know if I've technically used it, but yeah, I've attuned to it, and I wanted to talk to you about that.
Right. All right. What do you want to know? Or do you want to know the information that I have?
Yeah.
There are 7 of these blades, and each of them do a specific thing. If you allow them control, they can increase your abilities and even grant you certain effects. He then, not to you, but clearly looks over to Caitlin, and
She's concentrating on spraying a single thing. She's like crouched on the floor, and there's like a centimeter away, and she's just one drop of WD-40 per centimeter.
just looking at Caitlin.
No.
That might explain a few things. Right. Then goes back to the screen he was at. They are very powerful, but they are also very dangerous. If you're not able to control them or use them properly, they will simply take over and you will become a host to their abilities.
Okay, well, a strange thing happened when we were on our journey. It felt like it was protecting me from Caitlin, and I think it cursed her armor because she was attempting to do something with the blade.
They are very protective of their host. If the person they deemed was a likely potential enemy, or perhaps harming them, they would take over if they were strong enough or compelled enough. Wrath is something that we all have. He then kind of looks at his arm where he showed you before that we all have. So it can easily take you over. If you considered her a threat, it would likely have marked her to prevent her from being the kind of person that it believes her to be, in order to change her, to allow her to be something different and not a threat.
Okay. So I shouldn't. I don't know. I was just worried that maybe something else would happen like this in the future, but it would only happen if it felt threatened.
If it felt threatened, or if you had full control of the blade.
So if I had full control over the blade, I could curse people?
Potentially, yes. But I will make this offer that I had made to Byroth in the past. I can limit its abilities and you can use the blade without too much worry. But ultimately, you wouldn't be able to have its full effect. But it would also potentially be able to take you over unless you were able to come into a more symbiotic partnership with it.
I don't know. It feels pretty neutral right now.
It might change over time, or it might stay the same. I am
Oh,
simply
another
giving you
thing
this offer.
happened. It kind of absorbed into me.
Looks at his arm again.
I forgot about that part. How could I forget that? Like, oh yeah, I just have this blade that just it kind of absorbed into me when Vera tried to get me to drop it when I was attuning to it, and it instead of dropping, went into me.
Potentially, you now have become the blade. You can manifest it, I assume?
Yes.
It's possible that you are now its host or its sheath. It'll be a lot harder to unbind from it, but it'd also be a lot easier to meld with its abilities. I'm afraid, though, now that you've become one with it, I can't exactly limit it without limiting yourself as well.
Okay. Alright, I think... Yeah, because I don't... I think I'll be okay. It doesn't seem like it's been... If I ever feel like it's doing something else, I think I will come to you for help. But I think for now it's fine. I'll just keep a close eye on it.
Alright.
Alright, thank you so much, Ramon. At this time, I'm gonna go outside to the tree and tell Baroth everything.
Okay. You
that
can
I
get
talked
Code
to.
out for about a good distance of the yard, because it is cold.
Yeah. I mean, Rialta loves the cold, so...
Oh yeah, it basically feels like home to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you basically feel some nostalgia as you head towards the tree. And you find Byroth just about to sleep when you wake him up.
What?
Sorry.
No, it's nice, but
Do you talk, or do you just wake him up and then go to
Yeah.
sleep?
No, I'll tell him everything that just happened. I'll tell him about... I was just talking to Ramon about the Shard of Wrath and everything, and from what I told him how it kind of merged into me. It's pretty much a part of me at this point, and to put a damper on it would to dampen myself. I think I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and if I feel like it is getting weird, I will go to him to do that, but for now, I think it's fine.
I'm sorry to have pushed this burden on you. It did not mean for this to happen.
It wasn't your fault.
It sounds as though this sword is protective of you, though, which is, well, a better protector than wrath.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be protecting each other.
In a
Remember to, yeah.
I was just gonna say, in the distance, you just hear Ramon shouting out to Caitlin, "No, those are the windows!"
Oh God, you know WD-40 is fish oil, right? Come on.
No, she would not.
No, I was just making fun because it's currently getting windy where I'm at. So the window kind of moved a little bit. So he said, "Hit everything that moves."
Bam! Like a shotgun blast. This is the only time she actually like full sprayed something.
But I digress.
But Byroth and Rialta get out sleeping bags, I assume, and enjoy a night under the stars. For the
You have
last
3
time in a
hours
long
for it's
time.
ruined.
Oh.
Before
Because I'm coming
a
out there with WD-40 and an annoying question.
Before
Fucking
someone
spray
gets
them with
shouted at
it.
I know, right? We just wake up. I hope little Kitty wakes us up before Caitlin actually gets
They
there.
won't wake up, so you spray them with it. Just like fucking wake up.
I think you mean T-minus 3 hours until a vampire gets shouted at with thaumaturgy.
Time
I'm
passes.
glad.
Double infantry.
Caitlin
I'll
opens
join
the
you on
door.
that.
Rauta, you do feel something on your head moving, causing you to wake up. Rauta, you're still asleep. Caitlin, you do see Rauta stirring.
She looks at little kitty and just puts a finger to her mouth like, little kitty.
It then begins to meow,
That little kitty.
I fully
causing
wake
Rauta
up
to
and
wake up, causing Rauta to just go to sleep.
Yeah, she's gonna just go over to Byroth's unconscious body.
And
Yes,
what
you have
are
to
you
leave the
doing,
compound.
Caitlin?
But
Yeah, it's
Caitlin has a
okay.
key.
You have a key. You can leave.
you have to leave the building, but it's still in the bubble, right?
No, it's
No.
completely
No, it's
outside.
outside, it's
the
outside
gate.
the bubble.
Yeah, no,
Oh, it's
I got
outside the
confused because you
Alright.
said that we would have to be near, or leaving outside the door. We were near Byroff when I was certain he was outside the compound, so we would have been nowhere near him anyway.
No, you wouldn't be. Basically, you went away from the tree to have your own space, and then they're near the tree, but that's still outside the compound. So you wouldn't be close enough to really see this. Rauta is awake, Byroth is asleep.
Yeah, she's still going over to Byroth's unconscious body.
What are you doing, Caitlin? It's early.
He's sleeping.
Yes. Because we need rest.
She lightly presses her foot on your hand, Byroth. Wake up.
You're basically in that state where you're awake, but you aren't really focused.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, 15. Nah, you can tell. Today.
What? What? Kate, what?
Really important. I have an important question I gotta ask.
Living people have to sleep. What?
That wasn't the important question.
Oh,
That wasn't a question. What is it?
So do you just talk to animals sometimes?
Yes. So does Rialta. You can talk to her.
yeah.
Next question. Do you sleep with the armor on all the time, or you take it off sometimes?
It's not uncomfortable to sleep in.
No, I think
Hold it to it, right?
You
it's
can
pretty
sleep
good.
in any type of armor, though if you have exhaustion, it does not remove exhaustion.
Yeah. No, I think I'd sleep in it, especially because we're outside the compound tonight. The helmet is off, though. Or I guess deconstructed because I have fancy armor. So I'm wearing it. Depends on where we are. I'm sleeping outside. So yes.
You can go back to sleep then.
This is what you woke me.
Yeah, what
Throw
are you
si-
doing?
I like toss kind of sand at your like calf or something.
She looks extremely amused by this. This Byroth being slightly inconvenienced.
A minute later, though, Byroth is easily able to
Byroth?
sleep.
Byroth farts as loud as he can in an attempt to get rid of Caitlin.
Oh.
As Byroth goes unconscious, he knows he did a very loud job. But he does and is able to go unconscious as Caitlin precipitates away. Byroth, it was super easy to fall asleep here. You're
She's just staring at Relta.
Relta's just staring at you while little Kitty's just on her head. Or by her head. Currently they're laying down.
You can go back to sleep now.
Oh, what's up?
What's up with you?
I don't know. What are you doing out here? And why are you asking Baroth such weird questions out of nowhere?
His uncomfortable face amuses me.
It is pretty silly.
You can go back to sleep now.
I'm not so easily back to sleep as he is. She looks over at Baroth, just like shakes her head.
Oh, and she cast a spell. That one. There you go. She's gonna be casting that.
Okay.
A loyal, majestic mount.
Aww.
A steed from the environment or a steed you're trying to find?
Oh, she's changing the wolf into the Pegasus.
Okay.
It's inconvenient to be a wolf right now.
Easily able to do it. After some time, you do and are able to acquire your Pegasi again. Maybe this time it won't die.
It didn't die last time. I just changed it.
Maybe this time it won't explode, die, or get changed.
Yes. I'm gonna put the saddle of the Cavalier on it. All the while, I wait for Relta to fade back into her dream world.
I'm
While
not
staring
going back
directly
to
at
sleep
her.
while you're here. Odd. What are you doing?
One of us is having exhaustion, and it's not me.
He is waiting for you to fall asleep so he can pester Byroth.
I wouldn't do that in that order.
Uh,
I'm not gonna go back to sleep while you're just like here. What?
Caitlin,
She's
are-
Just like
hovering over both of you.
astride
both-
this Pegasus, like.
Caitlin, are you immune to sleep effects?
Oh, I don't need to sleep. It's just
Are you immune to
4
sleep
hours
effects?
meditation.
not even. That's not the right one.
Aspect of the moon.
Yeah, there it is.
He doesn't need to sleep.
As long
I'm
as
just chilling.
she's only doing light activity, then she does not gain exhaustion for not sleeping.
Yep, spraying down WD.
Whereas you two
doesn't
will.
sound. Yep. So you either go to sleep or you're gonna.
But I've
sleep.
already had how many hours? How many hours of sleep have I already had?
I
I
think.
think we've had about 4
Yeah, I think 4.
before Caitlin came out.
Oh, okay.
8
guys
is
see what
the general reference, but you can get away with 6 being the bare minimum.
Mhm.
Yeah, 6 is the bare minimum.
I
Elves
don't
can
see-
meditate for 4.
Yeah. However, Rauta, go ahead and roll me a.
Maybe a
Just
wisdom save if she's trying to stay awake.
No,
Just Caitlin,
I'm
I don't
just-
know,
what are you
try out
doing? I
her
just wanna know
very
what she's doing.
spicy.
This is something specific to the environment they're currently at. I suppose.
Wisdom?
Wisdom, yeah.
Oh
That ain't
dear.
it, Chief.
Oh God, I rolled a 1.
I must now make the important decision.
After
Do I help Relta out for this one time?
After a few seconds,
So,
just looking at Caitlin, something in the air just wafts around your face, and then it feels warm, and you just fall asleep.
While you're falling asleep, your eyes are drifting down. The eyelids are getting heavier. A sinister smile crosses Caitlin's face.
Oh fuck.
How spicy is that armor
I
getting?
literally
Champ?
say that quietly as I'm falling asleep. Just, oh,
Oh, fuck.
I fall asleep.
You're not waking back up.
You just hear me to say that. Oh, fuck.
I need to find a reaction gif because I can imagine it's what fucking Caitlin's doing.
Caitlin, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm casting Tiny Hut around them,
Oh god.
and I'm putting them in Tiny Hut. They're unconscious now.
Don't you have to be in Tiny Hut?
Oh, I do. I'm going in the Tiny Hut too.
Okay.
The casting
no,
of Tiny
not-
Hut
not
is
Byron.
centered on you, so
Not. I'm taking me and Relta. Widow Kitty's not allowed.
Drop Kate. This is what I
Do
imagine
you
Caitlin's.
forcibly
Best
not
friends.
allow little Kitty into the area?
Yes.
And
Go
so
ahead
in-
and roll me a wisdom saving throw.
And at this point, I'd like to point out that Byros' passive perception is 15.
Alright.
So
yeah,
any
I'm
of this-
subconscious.
Byros
You're
unconscious.
unconscious. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Curses.
No,
Passive perception
unfortunately
is technically 0 when you're unconscious, although it can be argued that any sounds will use your active perception. Or I think it's perception -5 or something like that.
not. Something like that.
Hey, I'll roll that.
However,
I'll roll that if you want.
Caitlin, as you bring out Tiny Hut, you are pushing out Little Kitty and Byroth. And then you feel a sensation just bite into your spell, pushing it back. The wisdom saving throw wasn't to fight against this thing. The wisdom saving throw was to see what's pushing it back. And then in the instant, the small fraction of an instant, you see that the music here is not appropriate for what's about to happen.
So did the spell go off? Like, yeah, did Byroth get physically pushed?
No, unfortunately, it didn't go far enough that you got pushed.
Okay, so I'm still dead as
That is like yes.
great. Loving it.
The spell pushes into Rauta, forcing Little Kitty out. And before it actually gets forced out, the pressure around it stops it. Rauta's halfway in, halfway out, and Little Kitty, you look at it. And then you see something in its eyes, similar to when Rauta changed into that form. And then you hear the voice again. But this time it's from not Rauta, not even the blade, but the cat. Now what are you trying to do this time?
Oh, it's a little kitty.
It's a rat kitty.
You're an angry kitty, aren't you?
I asked you a question.
And I denied the answer.
Fine. But you are not taking her. She's the host.
Oh, little kitty.
Do you want to play
How
this
long do you think you
game?
can protect her, little kitty?
Inside your own mind, Caitlin, your blade then states, if you really want to play this game, that's perfectly fine. I am willing to tease. But you do really want to be careful. The mind is gone in her, which means she is vulnerable to be taken over.
What part of my success rate don't you understand?
This has nothing to do with what you can do, which is limited, by the way. But this is what they can do. I can help you.
This
but
is
you'll
exactly
need to
what I
give me
want.
full control.
I'll never give you full control over this body. It's either partnership or nothing.
That's a shame. And I guess you're on your own. As you hear the voice just simply go away.
Close the door on the way out.
You then hear the voice again. I am still here. I'm just not going to help you.
Interesting.
This is your choice. You've made a bad one. Much
I'm
like
not making
your
a
love life.
I'm not making an aggressive action as of yet. I'm testing things.
Good luck. I'm sure your little teasing won't have a drastic effect. As you feel the voice go away. And then little kitty speaks again. If you do not
Does
want
little
to
kitty
add
want chin scritches?
It just stops talking then.
She exits the tiny hut and proceeds to watch them sleep the entire night.
Okay, so just little point of contention. Are we considering casting spells and conducting life or death negotiations with shards of sin light activity?
If Rialto was half in Tiny Hut, I'm assuming the cat was in Tiny Hut, which means that the sound wasn't traveling out to you.
The cat
No,
wasn't in
no.
Tiny Hut. Caitlin's forcing it
Not-
out.
I'm talking about Caitlin's rest, considering of, how many hours of light activity. Like, how light was that just now? With a
The
bunch of
ritual spell is
spells
pretty
and
light.
deception.
Doesn't even take a spell slot.
It was light talking.
Casting spells does break the light resting. However, the 24 hours is open to debate on. You can essentially take your long break once every 24 hours, and Caitlin's done nothing but sit and read for a majority of the day anyway.
That's true.
Yeah. I will say, though, because you casted a spell and broke your long rest time, you will either take a long rest but lose that specific spell for the next day.
I ritual cast
or
it.
That's still casting a spell.
Yeah, I don't lose a spell slot though.
Yeah, you're still casting the spell, so I'm giving you a penalty.
Oh, you're fine.
So either you don't lose the spell, but you lose a spell slot. It can be 1, 2, or 3, up to you, but you lose a spell slot. Or you can somehow write a little note on yourself saying, give me a little more time to meditate, and they'll go later on in the day. It's really on how much information you want to give everyone else.
Or you could just
We'll
go
probably
rest
just
and
make-
stop being a creepy little weirdo.
I'll make us leave later.
Yeah. Time passes, and the creepy music leaves us.
Does little kitty close its woodle eyes?
You're not exactly sure what little kitty is now. It was not able to do that when you formed a contract with it. For some reason, it is now.
Interesting. There's only one thing to do then.
I mean, if you had been polite to it, it probably would have answered you, but you were not.
Oh no, I wasn't. I had no intention of conversing with little kitty. Well, since I'm delaying the long rest anyways, it's time to do it again. This time over here and taking Byroth in.
You do see that the cat jumps onto Byroth?
Oh, little kitty wants to stop you from talking to Byroth.
No, it just jumps on him, waking him up, then jumps back onto Rauta. You know how, basically, sometimes, I'm sure some of you have cats, wake you up in the morning? That's basically what it did, and then jumped back on near Rialta. But at that point, Byroth would have been intercepted.
Okay, so I don't need to cast a spell. Works even better for me. Byroth's working up, right?
Yeah, at this point. Oh, I am missing a character. Oh, I guess you got deleted somehow?
Okay, Caitlin, it's been long night. What the fuck do you want?
Do you want to talk? I
No, I
want
want-
to talk.
Well, we're going to spend, I don't know, roughly 8 hours walking tomorrow,
Alone.
so we can talk then. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. We can talk alone
Now.
tomorrow during the walk. No,
You don't want to talk right now?
no.
Even if it's about relative safety?
Yeah.
I understand if you don't consider her a friend.
No, I think you're a threat to her safety. So, again, not good time.
Very well, Byroth.
Yeah, we'll talk once I've had rest, okay?
We won't talk
I know
later,
you-
Byroth.
Okay, well that seems like you're not concerned with her safety.
I'm
Alright,
not.
okay, goodbye, Judas.
Judas.
It's, I don't know, her, Caitlin, Judas, is that not, I forget names.
Okay. Causing Byroth to basically spend a good amount of time and then just causing him to go to sleep. Caitlin, you can easily frame this saying Byroth needs a little more time. So you basically waste enough time that it is no longer your fault, but Byroth's fault that you have to leave a little later.
Yep.
Alright,
So after
I was
another extra hour,
not taking that point.
everyone is basically meeting up inside the room you were assigned. Caitlin went in, stated Byroth needed a little more time. Apparently he was up all night.
Just talking to people. I don't know what's going on with him. Crazy. Don't ask him about it though.
Don't anyone mention it to him, though.
Just be polite and say we'll leave an hour early. But you can give him that concerning smile, but don't directly confront him about it. He doesn't like confronting his feelings.
We'll wake up and immediately, okay, Caitlin, you wanted to talk very late last night. What did you want? You woke me up several times. It must have been important. Oh, no, wait, you said you wanted to talk in private. I forget myself.
The final stage is denial.
Are we going to get going? I have a trail mix.
Trail mix.
Yeah, there's no blood you wouldn't like.
I can eat food, Byroth.
Really? I've never seen you do it. Not even last night when you cooked for us.
Oh, I already eat that.
Chrome and Lady Versailles, would you be at the meeting time on time, or you were told that you had an extra hour? Okay.
If there was a specific time, then I assume we'd be there.
I just needed to know so I could move you guys as tokens without feeling weird.
So everyone can mock Byroth equally.
Basically, yeah.
No. Caitlin's gonna take you outside though, Byroth. Then.
Said we'll talk on walk. Walk and talk.
Okay. This gave
I'll
enough
be
time
right
for.
back.
All right. This gave enough time for Chrome basically to make breakfast. Caitlin, if you want to speak with Byroth, now would probably be the best time.
He doesn't want to talk.
Oh, no, yeah, if this is the best time. Let's do it.
You now have the long rest if you want it.
Hey. She'll go outside and like outside.
We'll talk by the nice tree.
Shrugs.
Okay.
I don't like Faye.
So you're by the nice
Oh,
tree
Byroth.
before Byroth enters inside.
Yeah, feels bad, man.
What? No, I was talking to Caitlin by the tree.
I mean inside the gate and then heading towards the area.
You have to make a blood oath on it, Byroth, to not tell anyone about the information I'm about to bestow upon you.
Haven't we tried this before? You're the one who said no blood oaths.
I said I'm not making a blood oath. You're gonna have to make a blood oath, Byroth, if you care about her safety.
Ugh. Byroth, takes out a little dagger and pokes himself, not on the palm like an idiot, but just on the back of his hand or something. Blood. Drip. You don't get to taste it or anything. I shed blood in honor of the oath.
I don't want your
Yeah.
blood, Byroth. It's tainted.
Whatever. You do the same thing. Otherwise, blood oath doesn't work.
Shame, then. Okay, good enough. You should be
So-
careful around cats, Byroth. It's not your luckiest animal.
They are hunters, solitary creatures. Hunting cat is never to be trusted.
No one said anything about hunting. It's not your
All
best
cat-
animal, Vyroth. Remember that.
All cats are hunters. All cats are solitary. Why do you think Why do you think they're lucky for anyone? It's amazing that Rialta has reacted. That the cat has reacted so well to Rialta.
It's because it's not a cat.
Well, at first it was your familiar, so yes, I'm
It was
fully
never
aware
a cat.
Yeah, it's a magical construct in shape of cat.
Well, if you want to call Wrath a magical construct, then you know.
So you're saying that the cat is the dagger, or shard? It's still bonded to her.
You might want to get rid of the cat, Vyroth.
My understanding is that the shard is protective of her.
Shrugs.
It's also my understanding that it was you who manipulated her into first bonding with said shard. So, Caitlin,
All a part of the experiment.
how exactly is it you expect me?
Interesting
Trust
note, though,
you.
Vyroth. The unconscious body is a very fragile thing.
Is that a threat?
When have you ever known me to make a threat, Vyroth?
Often.
You don't know me at all, then. I don't make threats.
You make promises or insinuations. Listen,
I make suggestions.
play nice, Caitlin. We are not your little thralls.
You
We
could
are
be.
your allies. And you could wear your armor, huh? How would that feel? Right
Hot.
now. Pleasant? Put it on then.
It'd feel pretty hot.
It is
What
getting
do you
quite
think
warm.
that?
She does a fake yawn. I gave you the information, Byroth. What you do with it is up to you. An unconscious
where-
body is a willing body. In the technicality of a spell.
Noted, Caitlin. And I'm sure that your armor has noted it as well.
Don't test me, Byroth. I can be
Oh.
very nice or I can be very mean. And I will not accept your snide comments in a serious matter such as this.
I'm very sure you can be mean, Caitlin. I've seen whispers of that everywhere. Very
well,
nice.
Byroth. The consequences will be felt.
In the distance, you do smell something off.
Sort of like old burning flesh.
More like ammonia.
Be kind, Caitlin.
I am being
Oh,
kind.
yes.
I was kind enough to give you this advice. I could have just watched it all fester away and boil to the point of tipping over and just smiled. I did originally plan for that. But we've been told to act more like a team, so I was doing some team-wide bonding by finding a problem, and telling you about said problem.
Tell me the difference between your shard of Sin and Rialta's.
Mine's contained, hers is not.
Mhm. So you did take the Ion Stone?
Take it. It was already bonded with it.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Was it mentioned that Byros stayed up late due to himself or his Caitlin? I mean, I mentioned it, but
No,
but,
Caitlin specifically mentioned that you were up all night, but didn't give details. So it was just a roundabout answer of why.
Anyway, Caitlin, just trust us, I think. Trust that we will have your back and things will work out better for you. It is
Kind of
not
hard when I
one-
catch on fire every 6 seconds.
Well, the thing about that is you keep threatening us almost every day.
Pick your own advice and take that leap of faith and getting the curse off me.
Yeah, I'm not the one who controls the curse.
You're the one who controls the control of the curse.
I'm sorry, you think that I control the shard of sin that Rialta has?
I believe you control Relta. You're like a dog. He's like a dog on a leash with you.
Really, because she's barely spoken 10 words to me since I burned that into her hand. So,
Oh, puppy's pouting.
The smell is getting stronger, by the way.
Where is it coming from?
Around the house, actually.
Concerning. Probably shouldn't have sprayed so much WD-40.
No, the rest of the people inside the house don't smell a thing. Chrome does smell scrambled eggs
okay.
and fruit.
Okay. Do you smell that? Is this
The pneumonia?
is this a normal morning thing in the wasteland? Hey Ramon, why does it stink like piss out here?
Do you open the door and ask?
Yeah.
Ramon comes over. Drake let the cat out to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's one supernatural cat, alright.
Oh, he goes back and then remembers. If you guys are ready, Chrome is making breakfast and we all really need to speak so I can give you the details.
Yeah, it's vile out here. Let's go inside, Caitlin. Be nice.
I am being nice. I hate having to repeat that.
Yeah, and I hate having being threatened while I'm unconscious.
Threatened while you're unconscious, Baroth, I wouldn't dare.
No, you
Barra,
said
don't you know-
you're very vulnerable, and I'm walking inside.
That was because of Wrath could easily take her over, Baroth. Stop being silly. I didn't threaten anybody.
Sit down, arms crossed.
Caitlin looks extremely amused by you looking upset.
And you sit at the head of the table, you monster.
Chrome and not Versailles, Lady Versailles, do you head towards the dining hall? Okay.
She waves a little kitty.
It just meows
Oh,
and then goes to sleep on Ralph's head.
Yeah,
oh, it's a little kitty, little demon kitty.
It's a good kitty.
It is a kitty.
All right.
Make sure you give it a nice long baby talk.
Sounds good. Ramon then looks at the rest of you and then states, "All right then. I was able to make 6 of these fire-resistant shards. The environment around you shouldn't have an issue. Normally, you wouldn't feel too bad in this area. You would at least be able to survive. But the crystals I gave you could only do so much. They have little protective wards here and there, and these ones will help you survive as long as you're awake. But if you're not awake, I'm afraid it won't really take effect. But the
It
ones I made
seems
now will
Forgive
take
me
effect.
for interrupting Ramon, but I spent the night outside last night, and it seems like the night is going to be the big problem. Do we have insulated tents, or...?
You're heading towards a volcano site.
And if worse
So-
comes to worse, we can stay in my tiny hut. She gives a very kind smile
I'll be
while
Okay,
staring
so-
at Byroth.
Within 8 hours walk of here, it's nice and toasty.
Yes, originally I had planned for all of you to head out while it wasn't so hot. But I heard from Caitlin you needed more time.
Well, she woke me up with questions on this.
Bara, stop lying to these people.
Caitlin, roll deception. But that's neither
Well,
here nor there.
Rialta was there for at least one of these.
It
Alright,
was quite annoying. Very, very annoying.
They don't
In your
believe
delirious
Caitlin's
state, you
lying.
believe you see very things.
But it is a weird environment, so maybe Byroth saw a mirage or something. Is what Ramon is thinking. But it's really not that concerning. He just wants to make sure you're all fine. So he was fine with waiting.
And that's why we're taking that extra hour.
You don't just feel a
Ramon.
little
Aren't
hotter.
you a kind and caring leader?
Ramon then states, but I did make 6 of these. I can give you insulated tents, but that would be a little more detriment to your body
Technically.
while there.
Actually, technically, if it was really hot, the insulation would keep the heat out. But
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, yes, but it is an active volcano. If you open it up, the humidity would enter your tent and it would stay there.
No, we meant like on the desert road there, through the wasteland, right?
the point is, we'll be fine, right? In
Yeah.
general.
Yes, you'll be
Oh
fine.
my God.
With these new shards, with these new crystals, you won't have an issue and you won't need the insulated tent is what I'm getting at. So you won't need to carry a little more weight to you. It was 10% of our resources, so I could make more, but that'd be more of our resources we currently have unless we acquire more out on the field. So do keep in mind that we are using up resources while we're doing this, or if I equip we with new things. Which is why I had limitations on how many people you could take.
This is very helpful, Ramon. Thank you for pulling this together on such short notice.
It's what I do. But in the meantime, according to the information that I was given, Rust and Drake will be going with you.
Duh, they seem solid, and we need at least one sneak thief and another fighter never hurts.
That's fair enough. Right now, we have the map and we do have everything ready. Unfortunately, you will have to travel there on foot, as we don't have any livestock or the sort.
Do you have a cart?
I'm afraid not.
Oh.
Unfortunately, you all will have to walk. I know this may be a difficult task for y'all, walking to this active volcano, but just know, I won't be walking. And possibly one of you may not be walking. I will
Yes.
choose at a later date.
We have seen Maximilian, but in that case, we should get going.
Yes. Everyone that's going will go on to the top of the table / side of the table. Again, she's not going. She is in the background.
Aggressively T-posing.
Chrome and Lady Versailles, I'm going to move you because it's easier that way.
Okay, how many days walk to the mine? We get double that day's rations, and an additional 2 days.
It is 2 days to get there, and 2 days back, so you get 4.
I want 6.
Okay, you guys can take 6, but it'll be 2 more. It'd be 2% of the total resources you have here.
I expect that they won't be needed because I can supply for 6 people a day, but you want to be sure.
Yeah, these things will last, so even if you don't use them, you can still have them.
Mm-hmm.
So it does take 2 days, and you can already. I rolled, nothing really happens, so you just arrive at the next stop.
And so, if the landscape can provide food for 6 people, I find
what
it.
the
If it doesn't, we use ration. Oh god, fire.
Yeah, let's talk about all this food you're getting off of this lava.
Well, I said if it provides it. It's the Wanderer background.
Something tells me that's not going to be very helpful. the maps thing though.
Yeah. That's why I said if it provides it. And that's why I wanted 2 days extra rations, too.
Hey, listen. As far as I'm concerned, I'm traveling with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 rations.
No.
Well, you better have rations for us, because what happens if we get tired from all your draining blood?
You'll sacrifice yourselves as tribute, obviously, or you'll do the smart thing and cast create food or water.
Getting there.
Or when you get hungry, I'll just... what is it?
Water.
Banish undead.
Getting here was an excursion. It did get hotter and hotter as you arrived closer and closer. In the distance, you did see a massive rock, which you knew was the first portion of the area and the mine site entrance. As you finally arrived underneath this bridge, you saw a massive pool of liquid magma. In the front, you saw a massive skull with a structure similar to a drow. This would show you that a drow once was here, at the very least. Before you all left, Chrome did go away and get some more information, but that'll be given a little later time. Basically, I'm allowing Chrome to roll history whenever they feel like they need to. But arriving here and arriving at this site, you do realize that this mission, these consequences, got a whole lot more realistic. As we end the session for today.